Hey guys, Isaiah here at Sophos Survival. I am super excited about this video. We're doing grilled, freeze-dried chicken. So right now I've got it on the grill, and in this video I'm just gonna take you start to finish how we're doing it. Okay, so I've got it all on the grill right now, and so I didn't show the very first part of this, but it's the preparation. I got these chicken breasts. It's first of all, it's frozen chicken breasts that I got at Costco, and these are awesome because Costco does a really, really good job of cutting all the fat and everything off. Still though, there's some fat on there, and you want to trim all that off if you're going to save this. Fat doesn't freeze dry very well, and so I thawed it all out in the sink and then trimmed off all that fat, every little bit of it that I could, and then I threw it on the chicken or on the grill here. And I'll just show you the seasonings I'm using. I'm using this Magic seasoning, Blackened Redfish Magic brand. It's just Cajun Blackened seasoning. And so really, really good. This is one of our favorite seasonings. We use this on chicken, shrimp, salmon, all kinds of stuff. I just put some of it in this smaller container to shake it on there, and then garlic salt. And that's it. I threw it all on there, and I'm cooking it at low temperature so I don't burn it. Trying to be careful not to burn the chicken here because I don't want it too charred. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grill that up, cook it through so that way when we go to put it in the freeze dry, it's all nice and done. And then on the other end, when we go to rehydrate it, it's already cooked, and we just have to add water and then add it. We can eat it as is, or we can add it to, you know, whatever else we might be doing. All right. Oh baby. Yep. Well, that's perfect. Okay, so I'll flip that all over. Okay, so all flipped over now. I'm just gonna throw on a little bit more Cajun seasoning. This Blackened seasoning is awesome because you can put it on. One of my favorites is to put it in pasta, specifically Alfredo. Oh, so good. Just get some chicken or some fettuccine, any kind of noodles really. Throw in some Alfredo sauce, and then top it with this Blackened chicken. Oh, or Blackened salmon, Blackened shrimp. I mean, honestly, this stuff works really good for all of those. Okay, so we just cover it with that, and then throw a little bit of garlic salt on here as well. I did that on both sides. Okay, that's about it. Okay guys, done. Look at that beautifully grilled chicken. Okay, take this on in and get it all set up on our trays. Okay guys, so everything is grilled, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start putting these on the trays here and freeze dry it just like this. Going back just a little bit though, when they put these on the grill, I forgot to mention that I did not use any oil because oil does not freeze dry. And I also I trimmed off all the fat I possibly could off of these pieces of chicken. So we're just gonna kind of spread these out on the trays here, and a couple of them I might have to trim to fit on here just right. So this is awesome. So as soon as these are done and all freeze dried, I can take them and just store them just like that. Or if I need to, I can chop them up into little chunks, kind of like that, and then use those in, you know, whatever pasta or, you know, whatever I need or want to use them in. So some of these will end up like this anyway, so this is how I'm gonna do it here. Then transport these guys downstairs. Stackers in here. Anyway, so this is how I'm gonna do it here. Just get these all to fit. Okay, so we're just gonna get ready and throw these in the freeze dryer now. Most of the time I pre-freeze my food, but this time I'm not gonna pre-freeze. And I also just want to mention I have an older version of the software. They have come out with a couple of new updates, but I like this version of the software and I like how it functions. So I'm not gonna upgrade to the latest software version. But basically, when I turn the machine on, what it does is it says, all right, load your food into the freeze dryer, close the drain valve. So we'll do that. Pre-freezing your food does shave off a lot of time off of the cycle. Yeah. Right now, I would rather just get this in the machine, and I don't have any batch of food going prior anyway, so pre-freezing, I mean, I can either freeze it in the freeze dryer or freeze it in the other freezer. It wouldn't really matter. Just kind of saves me a step this way. So I'm going to hit continue, and I'll close the door. Basically, it just says freezing. So now it's just going to freeze and freeze and freeze for probably 6, 8, 10 hours. I'm not really sure exactly, but the sensor will tell it when it's frozen. And then once it's done freezing, then the vacuum pump will kick on and it'll just start the rest of the cycle. So, now we wait. Okay guys, we're done. So come over here and check this out. It took 44 hours for this chicken to freeze dry, which is typical. Stuff like that takes quite a while. So it says process complete. It just sits there and beeps at you until you come in and open it up, or until you come and check it. But it tells you to open that drain valve, so we're going to let the air out of the machine. And then what I always like to do is take this chicken, or whatever it is, and sample it. So you want to make sure that everything is nice and crisp and crunchy, that breaks apart. It's kind of got that like really lightweight styrofoamy kind of a feel. And it's awesome because these chicken breasts, they hardly weigh anything. But watch this. Crunch that thing in half. And there's actually, so this is kind of good. It's a little bit cold, and I don't want any moisture or coldness to be in these chicken breasts, okay? So because of that, I feel like this isn't completely dry yet. We're gonna throw it in and add some extra drying time. That one felt just a little bit on the cold side on the bottom of that chicken breast, which means if it's cold in that chamber and I feel coldness on here, that means there's moisture in that chicken still, okay? So I'm gonna put it back in. I'm gonna test another one down here. See, that one is nice and crispy, crunchy, nice and warm, because the machine just got finished, or the process just got finished. That's dry, but that other one wasn't. And if there's any question at all if you should add extra drying time, do it, because when you go to package those things up over time, if there's any moisture in your bags, in your pouches, the food's gonna spoil or go bad, because that's just, you can't have any moisture in there. So course, all these little tiny pieces, those freeze dry really well, but it's these bigger pieces I was a little more concerned about. So I'm gonna throw it back in, close this, close my drain valve, and then hit more dry time. Close drain valve, hit continue. I'm gonna add like another 3 hours. Turn the vacuum pump back on. And I'll just increase it to about 3 hours. I'll come back and check it and see how it does at that point. Okay, let's try this again. After a couple more hours, looks nice and dry, no coldness. Yep, we're set. So that was the extra little few minutes or a couple hours that we needed. So what I'm gonna do here, take all those trays out. No defrost. We'll just leave the door open, leave the drain valve open, turn off the machine. That will defrost on its own. And then we'll package it up. I'm going to use these ones from Harvest Right. I love them because they have a gusseted bottom and a resealable top. And they're perfect little like single portion pouches. So let's do it. All right, so check this out. I wanted to show you guys how awesome this chicken is. Now that it's all freeze dried and super crispy, crumbly, I can come in and it makes it super easy to cut. It's like styrofoam almost. You know how cutting raw chicken is just super, I don't know, kind of a pain? It does get a little bit crumbly, so if you don't want it to crumble down into tiny little pieces, we'll just do strips. So, I mean, with it freeze dried like this, there's kind of nothing you can do about some of the crumbliness, but I like chicken done in chunks like that. So, it makes it really, really nice. All right guys, so what I did is I went along and just put one oxygen absorber in each of these bags, and I've tried to portion these out so that they are pretty even. They have the same quantity, and then at the end, I put all of my little crumbles into this bag, and then I labeled that crumbles just so I know that it's a little different. I can use that one for, you know, whatever. If I'm gonna use my chicken in smaller chunks, maybe put that in burritos or something like that. But anyway, let's seal these babies up. All right, guys, so we're done. We're at the end here, and I have a couple of thoughts and just takeaways and things that I've learned as we've done this grilled chicken. So first of all, this is my little sample package I'm taking to the store, and we'll display that. I've got a whole variety of different things we've done in the freeze dryer, and I like to display it like that just to show what it looks like. Normally when you store stuff long term, you don't want the clear front. That's, I mean, light over time will degrade the shelf life of your food storage. If it's gonna go in a dark container in a dark storage room, it's probably fine, but that's just for display. And then I did notice there was a couple of pieces that as I was chopping, there is a little bit of moisture left in there. There's a couple of little, like, tiny little frozen pieces inside. And so that is really important that doesn't end up in your bag to store for a long time. Because if there's any moisture in that, it will go bad. So what I did is I just set those aside, and I'm actually just gonna use these as my sample pieces to rehydrate, and I'll eat those for lunch today. But we'll just rehydrate it and just see how that does. So I'm gonna set those aside, and then we ended up with 9 pouches here with tons of just really awesome quality grilled chicken. If you were to, I mean, just cost-wise, you're looking at a couple $100 worth of freeze-dried chicken here. If you were to go and just buy that already done, you're looking at a couple $100 worth of chicken. And my cost going into this is probably about 40 bucks for all of this chicken. I got 2 bags of Costco chicken for like 18 bucks a piece, and then a few dollars worth of supplies. So pretty awesome to be able to save all this stuff and have it ready for our food storage, whether that's just a Friday night or Sunday afternoon, you just don't want to cook, and you can just take one of these out and rehydrate it and use it for fajitas or burritos or whatever it might be. Throw it in your grilled chicken fettuccine Alfredo. That's one of our favorites. But or maybe you save it long term and it ends up being an emergency food storage. So other thoughts, as far as the crumbliness of the chicken, it just depends on you. You noticed during the video, when I chop that chicken up, there is a good amount of that stuff that does crumble and it falls apart. So if you don't mind that, you can freeze dry just how I did it in this video. Chop it up, throw it in the bags, and then you'll end up with kind of maybe 1 package out of this whole batch that ends up being those little crumbles. If you want to avoid as much of the crumbliness as possible, I would suggest that you chop all of your chicken, grill it, cook it, and then chop it up and freeze dry it that way. And I did notice on those pieces, they're less crumbly. I didn't have to do anything to those, and they just went straight in the bags, and they're not falling apart like those other, the full chicken breasts were. Also, as far as time goes, if you chop those pieces of chicken breasts, when the freeze dryer is going, the air or the moisture will escape those smaller pieces better than a full chicken breast. And so chances are you will probably reduce time on the freeze drying cycle, and then also reduce your chance of getting any of these completely undried pieces or pieces that might have a little bit of moisture left in them. So you're probably the machine will work a little bit more efficiently if you do that as well. So, but that's the cool thing about freeze drying, is that you can do it however you want. Whatever your preference is, you'll find out what you like, what you don't like. And I learned a couple things on this, but anyway, good takeaways, and you always just kind of dial in your own system as you go on. But anyway, that's the freeze-dried grilled chicken video. So thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions, either give us a call or comment in the feed below. And then also, if you like the video, we really appreciate you always, sharing and posting this video and getting it out there. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks, guys.